Welcome everybody to the call. I'm Erica Polly. Haven't met all of you. A lot of your names look familiar, so I met some of you, but I think most of you just work within the offices that I've got relationships with the advisor. But if you don't know me, I am Erica Polly. I'm the owner of Track That Advisor, and I mainly just kind of deal with the advisors on the data analytics side. But most of you on the call deal with our team. They are also on the call today. But the whole point of this webinar is to help make life a little bit more efficient for you all who are in Redtail. And whether you have Redtail or not, maybe you're thinking about getting it. I know Kate's going to do a really good job explaining just a lot more uses that you can have. But what we have come across in the years of doing this is that most people are just using Redtail as kind of this like glorified Rolodex, and it has so many more uses for that. And so last year I was on LinkedIn and I came across Kate and I'm like, who are these people? I thought they might be doing like what we're doing at Track That Advisor. And so I got all weird and stalkerish and I'm like, okay, is she doing the same thing? Are we competitors? What's happening here? And so lo and behold, we met. And I learned that what they're doing is actually so incredible. It's even more than I even knew Redtail could do, but they're really helping make Redtail more efficient. So when we spoke, I said, there has to be some synergy here. We have a ton of clients who use Redtail. They're always asking us if there's integrations. And we kind of say, yes, kind of. You might be able to do an export into our sheets. I don't really know. And so we put our heads together the last several months and said, we can figure this out. So we have figured out a solution for those of you that are clients, and they will go through, we have basically 3 different solutions depending on the needs of your office. So Kate will run through that, explain how to do it yourself, but also just if you need extra help, what that looks like. From our end at Track That Advisor, our goal with this is for you to basically be able to pull all the information straight out of Redtail and put it into your trackers. How that will look and how that works on the back end, we'll go through with you later down the road. You will still have trackers for us, but you won't have to do input, okay? So they will still have the tracker genie, so it'll still clean it when you import the information. You'll still have the automated scrubs. You'll still have the dashboards. So we still do the builds for you. We still do the monthly check-ins. None of that changes on the service side. It's simply that we're eliminating double entry and double work for your team. So that is our goal in this. But without further ado, I will let Kate take the show. I'm going to be here to answer questions maybe later, but we'll let them run with it first and we'll go from there. So I'll mute myself and let you run with it, Kate.
Excellent. Thanks, Erica. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us on this Monday morning. Well, I'm on the West Coast, so it's Monday morning. I hope everybody had a good weekend, and I'm excited to share with you just some additional efficiencies for utilizing Redtail to help run your practice. And so, kind of like what Erica said, Simplicity Ops is a operations management company that specializes in building customized operating systems for RIAs using your Redtail CRM. Here at Simplicity Ops, we believe that your CRM should be the hub of your practice. And in order to run a super highly efficient practice, there are 5 core functions, or what we call our 5 core competencies, to really help build a solid operational foundation utilizing your CRM tool. And so what we help teams do is really optimize your CRM, clean up data, build out processes and procedures to help, kind of like what Erica says, reduce the double entry, reduce some of the internal operational friction you might be feeling in an effort to work smarter and not harder. And so what I'm going to focus on today is one of the 5 core functions being your sales pipeline tracking capabilities. And this is where Erica and her team and my team at Simplicity Ops have really worked together to find a much more streamlined way of managing this process. And that's what I'd like to share with you today. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Please know, you guys, that this is being recorded, and these slides we will be sharing with you. So don't worry about taking super diligent notes today. We'll be able to give everybody a copy of this presentation if you do choose to implement what I'm going to show you today. So let me pull my notes up here. One of the things I'm super excited to share with you today is a step-by-step process for, just reiterating what Erica said, capturing these tracking these metrics in Redtail rather than on the external spreadsheet that you're currently using. And so what I'm going to share with you today is how to build this out in Redtail so that it is exportable in a Track That Advisor friendly way that you're able to still analyze this information on your existing dashboard. We're going to take it, from your spreadsheet into Redtail using a series of user-defined fields, quick lists, custom exports, and my favorite, workflows. And so for those of you that are unfamiliar, user-defined fields are a way to tag specific contacts in your database for the purpose of tracking, various metrics. We're going to use a series of user-defined fields and create custom exports that essentially is a way of flushing out this data. And what we've collaborated with Track That Advisor here is formulating these exports so that they play nice with the Track That Advisor dashboard. And so I'm going to show you how to build that today, as well as creating a quick list, which is Redtail lingo for a dynamic, frequently accessed report. So again, in an effort of working smarter and not harder and not having to reinvent the wheel every single time we go to run through this process, we are going to create these templates for you guys and then utilize workflows to help standardize and create a consistent experience for tracking this on an ongoing basis. And so here is a snapshot of the user-defined fields that we're going to use at the contact level to track these various matrix for your dashboard. All right, so again, everybody's going to have a copy of these slides, so don't worry about taking screenshots or trying to jot this down. Everybody's going to get these lists, but what I did want to show you is where in your CRM you can see this information and how we're going to add these user-defined fields to your database. All right, so I'm going to jump over to my Redtail really quick and just show you at the contact level. So I'm using my Dunder Mifflin contact here. You can see the surface of the contact record, and down here, if I scroll down to the bottom of the contact record, you can see the list of user defined fields and where they live on the surface of this contact. To add these user defined fields to your database, I'm going to duplicate this page here really quick, and I'm going to go up to my name in the top right corner. I'm going to go to manage your account. I'm going to go over to my database lists, and you can see here under the contact all of the fields that you can add at the contact level, one of which are user defined fields. Disregard, we track all sorts of stuff at this level, so disregard some of these things that don't pertain, but all these Track That Advisor ones we've grouped together here at the bottom. And so we just added these manually and gave them the specific values that we want to track. And so here's an example of one. Come on, Redtail. Where you're able to track specifics as it relates to the various metrics you want to track. For this example, we'll use office location. I can see, my various offices within my practice. And where this becomes very important is it allows you to run reports pulling contacts that have these specific values associated with their contact record. Is everybody following with me so far? Does anybody have any questions? I'm gonna keep rolling here. Joe and Erica, if you guys see anybody chime in with any questions, you're welcome to interrupt me. Otherwise, I'm gonna keep rolling on and just show here how we're gonna assign these values and these user-defined fields to contacts.
That's great. I'm going to keep an eye on the chat, everybody. So you just type in a question and I can answer them as we go through it.
Beautiful. So So again, the call is being recorded. We're going to give you these slides, but we've included in the slide deck the step-by-step and snapshots here of what I'm modeling in the database so that everybody, if this is something you'd like to implement, can recreate what I'm modeling here today. But essentially, this is how you're going to be able to use Redtail in specific contacts to tag them with the metrics that you need to run and export into your Track That Advisor dashboard. And so we're going to do the same thing on the account level, not just specific to contacts, but we can also do the same thing for the accounts. And so just like, you can see here all the fields that you can add at the contact level, you can do the same thing under accounts. And so we have user defined fields here under accounts. And you can see here the Track That Advisor user defined fields that we have entered into the database for the purpose of tracking these metrics. I'm going to jump back to my slideshow. All right. So once you have added these user defined fields to your database, you now have the ability to assign them to specific contacts and run reports based on this information. And so what I want to show you now is how to apply a user defined field to a contact record. And then I'm going to show you how to run reports based on this information. So within Redtail, I'm going to go back to my Dunder Mifflin contact record here. Once you've added those user defined fields to your database, you can go to specific contacts and you can add, you can see here, the user defined field to the contact record. My hope for you guys is that you don't have to do this, contact by contact individually, that you have the ability to run a report and group contacts together, which highlights the importance of having a really well organized and clean database so that you can use the bulk actions feature and assign user defined fields to contacts in bulk. I'm going to show you now how we're going to use this information to run reports in Redtail. So I'm going to shift things over a little bit here. And I want to, for those of you that are not familiar with a custom export, I'd like to show you a pretty sweet feature in Redtail to be able to generate a report with, custom fields at the account or at the contact level. So let me show you again where we're going to access this information by clicking our name in the top right corner, going to manage your account. Here you can see all of the template options, one of which is custom exports. And so within Redtail, you have the ability to create, essentially this is a menu of all of the fields at the contact level that we can track and run a report on and export in a CSV format. And this is where we've collaborated with the Track That Advisor team to create a system and structure these reports so that they're easily exportable into your dashboard. And so what we have come up with here is all of these check marks are indicating, if you think about it in terms of like an Excel document, the columns of your Excel document. So again, on my slideshow, I've showed what the fields are that we have clicked here so that you can build out this really beautiful report for your organization, but just want to show you how you access a custom export template and the capabilities and the various things that you can track at the contact level. For those of you who've kind of played with this, I know there's reports in Redtail, but in my experience, just kind of giving you some inside information, those are I think they're pretty helpful, but they don't always report on exactly the information that you are looking for. And so this is a really great way of creating completely custom reports that you can run out of your database. So once you've built the custom export, now is when we're going to go back into the database and run reports, or what Redtail calls quick lists, to be able to group these contacts together so that we can export them into this beautiful format. So I'm going to show you how to do that now. Let me go back here. All right. So once I've built my custom export, now I can group my contacts together, run a report, and spit the information out into that format. So you're going to start here by going to our contacts. Up at the top is how you're going to build a report from scratch. I'm not going to spend time going through that today. I'm going to show you where you can access your quick list, which essentially is a frequently accessed report by clicking on lists, quick lists. You can ignore these. We use quick lists for running all sorts of reports. But what I'd like to focus on today is the track that advisor export that we've created that's pulling everybody in my database that we have labeled as, come on, Redtail. Don't fail me now. Here we go. So what we've done is we want to run a report based on all the contacts in our database that we have labeled as prospect and client. And so we've created, we've run the report, we've saved it as a quick list because it's a frequently accessed report. And now is when I can do things in bulk to these contacts. So this is where by clicking this top button, selecting all 39 of these contact records, I can, run reports. I can run exports. I can do custom exports. I can, under this bulk actions feature here, this is where I can assign user defined fields. This is where I can assign, do things to contacts in bulk. But what I want to focus on today is the custom exports feature. So I just built the custom exports under my templates, and now I can apply that custom export to these contacts so that I can generate my production sheet and I can generate my prospect sheet. So by running this report, it's going to spit out a really beautiful CSV file with all of my contacts and the specific information that I'm looking to track. And this is where the collaboration with my team and Track That Advisor has just been really helpful, and really, it's just been awesome to be able to figure out how we can use your database to play nice with their prospect tracking system. And this is where we've collaborated to figure out how we can create the specific fields that is going to be easily exportable into your existing dashboard. Does anybody have questions on this so far? I know I'm giving you guys a ton of information. We good? I'm going to keep rolling then.
Keep rolling. Nothing in the
All
chat
right.
so far.
Okay, good. Let me just look at my notes here, make sure I'm covering everything that I got it. All right, so you can see here, I've taken you through, 4 or 5 steps of how to, tag contacts, the information that needs to be added to your database. And one of the questions we get here is, how do I remember to do all of this? Or how do I do this and deliver this on a consistent basis to make sure that, the information that we are exporting is accurate and consistent, ongoing. And so this is where I have found workflows to be a really, really helpful way of managing this consistently. And so here at Simplicity Ops, we are all about working smarter and not harder, and standardizing the way we manage our client experience. And workflows have been such an integral part of making that happen. Meaning, for those of you who are unfamiliar with workflows essentially is a set of standard operating procedures. In the past, when I used to run an RIA, we had them on like a Word doc. And so we had essentially a checklist of how to, for this example, onboard a new prospect. And so we've taken these standard operating procedures and now documented them within your CRM in a workflow format, so that as you onboard a new prospect, you are adding the specific user defined fields to their contact record consistently, so that this information and these reports are accurate. And so I'll show you kind of an example of what a workflow looks like. And this is really where, my team shines when collaborating with our clients, is fleshing out what your desired client experience looks like, what you would like, your prospect process to feel like, and then documenting them in a workflow format with specific target dates so that we're making sure that we are checking all of these boxes and all of this is delivered and done consistently to all new contacts added to your database. Here's just kind of a snapshot of what this looks like in Redtail. I know the Redtail workflows, some people are super savvy, other people need a little bit of help. There's great resources on our website, great resources on the Redtail help desk, showing you how to create workflows if this is something that you would like to incorporate into your practice. Any questions before I move forward? I'm going to highlight now some of the other core features of your CRM for those of you who are still kind of using the tool as a glorified Rolodex, like Erica mentioned. And so we at Simplicity Ops have started to put together essentially what we call our operating system, which is a series of what we call our 5 core competencies, systems in place to efficiently run your practice, to eliminate reinventing the wheel, to eliminate the opportunity for balls being dropped. And essentially we partner with RIAs to help build consistent systems for managing, you see here on the left, contacts, tasks, calendar, pipeline, which is now we're using the Track That Advisor tool to really enhance that component of your CRM, and then managing your clients' accounts. Like I said, we believe that Redtail should be the hub of your practice, and these are some of the core spokes coming off of that hub to really run a highly efficient practice and deliver a super personalized client experience. Once we do some, very intentional training with the firms that we work with and get everybody very comfortable and confident using the system, we start to talk about some of my, the fun lovey-dovey stuff, like your client service model, who it is that you serve, what are the services you provide, and at what frequency. And then we use Redtail as the means for delivering this on a consistent basis. So that's what I mean here by we like to create a proactive client service experience within Redtail using systems, kind of like what I just showed you with tags and keywords and user-defined fields, so we know exactly who we're serving, and setting up a regular proactive cadence to ensure that we're really delivering that experience across the board consistently. And then I kind of just mentioned, but the beautiful thing about implementing a workflow system is Redtail has the ability to create automations for our workflows that essentially help guide the process for anything in your office that is repeatable, essentially, in our opinion, is workflowable. So the example that I gave today is your new prospect onboarding process. Using workflows to capture information, organize contacts, and be able to run reports on a consistent basis. Additional examples of workflows are things like opening new accounts, the passing of a client, retirement, contributions, distributions, moving money. Really, again, anything in your practice that is repeatable, in our opinion, is workflowable. And so we like to collaborate with our firms to identify what those processes are and streamline them utilizing workflows within your CRM. I saw somebody raise their hand. Is there any questions before I move on here? I'll keep going. And so this, I wanted to share with you guys kind of a snapshot here of how we make this happen. And so each one of our engagements starts with an initial consultation, essentially a get to know you phone call to identify, your needs, how does your firm operate? What's going really well? What are some of your roadblocks, your goals, and make sure my team and I are going to be a good fit to be able to help you. Followed by a CRM assessment. This essentially is gives my team and I an understanding of how you are using or underutilizing your CRM, and essentially helps us identify the level of organization and cleanup that's going to be required to make all this stuff happen. To be able to build out, the 5 core functions of your database to create a proactive service experience and workflows within your database. Following that call, you can see here we set up a timeline. Essentially, our engagements are 6 months long. Start with the organization of your database, which is this Redtail style guide call. For those of you who are unfamiliar with what the style guide is, we have templates on our website that you're welcome to download. But essentially, this is your glossary, if you will, to your database, or a contact hierarchy structuring who are the various contacts in your database and making sure that they're organized and appropriately labeled so that everybody on your team can find the information that they're looking for. And again, run clean, consistent, accurate reports. I won't go through this entire timeline, but you can kind of see here how we get started with the organization and cleanup, how we do some really, intentional team training, and then start to use the tool to build out your client service experience on a very organized, consistent, customized, proactive way. And so I think the last thing that I didn't quite touch on here is the workflows within your database are not limited to just client servicing type work. There are other repeatable things we do on a day-to-day basis. And I come from an administrative and operations background. And so I did, a lot of the repeatable things that I did were billing and reporting and trading and human resources. And we used Redtail to manage those repeatable processes as well. And so that's where you can see towards the end of the engagement, we get into writing workflows to manage your practice and your operational responsibilities. Any questions, Erica, or am I good to keep rolling forward?
So far, so good. We've had a couple of questions on new business and how they put that in there, but for those of you that have those questions, we can answer them on the back end. That they are also asking for your website. So anyone who wants the website of Simplicity Apps, I'm going to drop that in the chat as well.
Excellent. Yeah, you got it. And so as Erica mentioned earlier in the call, if this is something that you would like assistance with implementing, we have a couple of options for you guys. Again, this webinar was recorded. The slides will be available to you. I have some links on the next slide explaining where you can get this information. But we have a community platform within Simplicity Ops where we share, resources, how-to videos. This is going to be one of the resources on our community page that you can download and use to, DIY this. Excuse me. And implement the user-defined fields, the custom exports, and the quick list yourself. Otherwise, if you would like some additional assistance and some guidance, we would be happy to work with you, starting with the CRM assessment. And you can kind of see here where we'll do the CRM assessment, identify kind of the needs of your office. What are you doing really well? Give you some feedback on some areas that, you could use some improvement. We will do the build out of this process for you. The cost of that would be $4,000. And as part of the CRM assessment, we put together a dashboard essentially that is going to give you feedback on, what's going really well, what are some areas of improvement, and then we'll give you feedback on, the importance and why. And then we'll also put together a plan of action, which essentially is a PowerPoint presentation saying, hey, if I were you, business owner, these are the things that I would do to improve your process. This is how I would organize your contacts. These are the workflows I would incorporate. This is what I would suggest you make your onboarding process look like. Here's some additional operational efficiencies and automations that I would take advantage of. And so as part of that gold package, we'll put all of that together for you. And then Erica's been a saint here and offered a 1 month free of services for the first 3 offices that engage, which is fun. And so that's kind of a combo of the DIY plus getting some guidance from us, and then the platinum, service here is what I just explained on the previous slide, is a full 6-month engagement. It starts with the CRM assessment. We'll give you all the feedback. We'll put together a plan that my team will execute. And one of our engagements is, traditionally 6 months, starts at $9,500 a month. And essentially we'll do all of the organization for you. We'll structure your contacts. We'll do the cleanup. We'll do all of the training. As it says here, we have limited capacity. Starting the next spot we have available is in April. Otherwise, once those spots get filled, we'll have time a little later this summer, I think in July. But if this sounds like something that you are interested in and would like some help, we would love to schedule some time to get to know you, start with that initial consultation, figure out how we can help you, and integrate the Track That Advisor system to, streamline and standardize the way you guys are tracking those metrics.
And I wanted to just jump in real quick. We did have 2 questions that I thought were good enough for me to kind of put out there publicly, because there might be other things that everyone else is asking.
Awesome.
So one of them is when someone asked about what's the cost for silver. So that's free. And that's what we wanted to offer to you all. For those of you that understand Redtail and you feel like you have a good grasp on it, we wanted to bring you a free solution. So it's just saving you time. You're not spending any money. And I wanted to make that really clear. But that's the DIY. That's what we went over today. That is what you can go build yourself on your own time, and then you can export it into the Track That Advisor trackers. The gold and the platinum are for those of you that know, like gold is our middle, right? If you're like, hey, I know what we're doing, but I just don't have the time or a ton of the know-how to do all these custom exports. We want a little bit of help. That's what the gold is. So it's saying, hey, we need a little bit of an investment here, and we want to be able to build it out eventually. And then platinum is for those of you who have Redtail, but it can do so much more and you're not doing that. Again, I'm a huge believer in it. We've sent 2 people their way already and it's been incredible. So I'm a believer in it, but we also believe in giving you guys options, because not everyone's on the same level with Redtail. So that's what the 3 options are. Just want to make sure that was very clearly explained. And then lastly is, how often would you be running these custom exports? I thought that was a great question. Do we manually add the information into the TTA sheet, or does TTA do that with Redtail? So we are working on potentially doing some sort of plugin, but right now how we would advise you do that is just once a week. So every Friday you pull the export, you put it into the trackers, and then all of your reporting is clean for that week. So it's literally just a 1 time a week thing, and you put it into the trackers and everything's going to populate for you for those Monday morning meetings. So that's the timeline on that. And I wanted to just make sure I answered those 2 questions. So you can keep going, Kate. If there's other questions, you guys can keep coming.
I'll piggyback on what you just said. So just as a reminder for those of you who might not use Redtail to its full capacity, full capabilities, what Erica was just explaining, the needing to run a report on a weekly basis is a really good example of a recurring activity in Redtail. So if you do opt to build this out in Redtail for the sake of running easy reports, you'll want to set yourself a recurring activity to run these exports on whatever cadence or frequency makes sense for you guys. This way it's done on an ongoing basis. You're not having to think each week about what needs to get done and have it captured within your CRM. Because again, I'm a firm believer that your CRM should be the hub of your practice, and this is a very easy thing to integrate to start to make that happen. So one of the things I want to show you here, I've got the website up at the top. This is our RIA operators community, where we have a bunch of resources, and it's a collaborative place where RIA operators can go to ask questions and collaborate and get some of our free resources, one of which is going to be this presentation. So this is where you can access that. And then lastly, contact information for the TTA team as well as our team. So if you have any follow-up questions for my team, you're welcome to reach out to Joe directly. You're welcome to check out our website. Is our website not on here? You're welcome to check out our website. And I'll give that to you here in just one second. And then same thing goes for the Track That Advisor team. You've got their support email there for any follow-up questions. And I want to point out on our website, I'll open it up here for you guys. So simplicityoperations.com. And we've got a bunch of free resources here under our resources page and free downloads that might be helpful to those of you that want to DIY this. Organizational documents, workflow recommendations. So if this is something that you have somebody on your team who's super operationally minded and has the capacity to start to build this stuff out, I would direct them to our website to start to use some of our guides, kind of in an effort of not reinventing the wheel. We've put together some of this for you in the hopes of saving you some time and saving you some of the heartache that we've gone through to figure out how to do all of this efficiently and effectively. So thank you guys for participating, for joining us Monday morning. I'll open it up for questions. We've got a little bit more time. If anybody has anything they'd like to ask. Crickets? No questions?
Crickets. I know. Well, they've been asking them in the chat. Me and Joe have been typing away over here. So
Okay.
Anybody else have anything? You can also, again, you guys may get some emails, Kay, too, but we will too. So feel free to let us know. Yep. So someone said, hey, I do have questions, but I'll reach out later. So
amazing. Well, it's been really awesome to collaborate with Track That Advisor. We have so many, of our core values that really complement one another, and we're here to help solve the operational issues affecting RIAs. And so you've got really good resources here between Erica and her team and my team at Simplicity Ops to help elevate your practice and your client experience and really build a super efficient business. So we're here to support you in whatever your needs are. Please feel free to reach out, and I look forward to hearing from everybody.
awesome.